Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament, and I'm reading the book of Revelation, and I got up to chapter 20. Kai edon angelon katabainon ta ektu uranu, ekonta ten kleintes abusu kai halusin megalen, epi ten kera autu. And I saw an angel, an angelon, katabinonta, participle from katabino, going down or descending from the heaven, so from heaven. And in apposition to that angelon, we get the participle ekonta, tan klein. The nominative here is kleis. This is a feminine third declension noun meaning a key. You will see some slightly other spellings of this, sometimes with an eta and a iota subscript, but here we get the form kleis for key. So having the key of the abyss, this is the bottomless pit. Kai halus in megalein, halus is a chain. So having a great chain, epi ten kera autu, in his hand, literally upon his hand. Kai ekratesen ton drakonta, ho office ho akaios, ho estin diabolos kai ho satanas, kai edesen auton hilia ete, kai ebelen auton estin abuson kai eklesen, kai esparagisen epano autu, hiname planese etita ethna acriteles ta kilia ete, metatauta de luthenai auton micron chronon. And he got mastery over, from kratio, or can mean just to take hold of, probably that's what it is here. Generally takes a genitive, but not here. So he took hold of the dragon, ho office, ho archaeos, the ancient serpent. Office is a third declension noun, the ancient serpent, which is diabolos, the devil, and Satan, satanas. Kai edesen, he bound out on him, this is the aorist from deo, he bound him for hilia ete, 1,000 years. Kai ebelon auton, and he cast him into the abyss, the bottomless pit, and he shut him in from kleo, he locked him in. Kai esfragisen, from sphragisto, and he placed a seal, I think, epano autu, on top of it. Hiname, or perhaps it could be on over him. Probably he placed a seal on top of it. It may be agreeing. No, it can't be agreeing with the abusus, so it must be on him. So he placed a seal over him, hiname, in order that he might not planese, from planao, lead astray, eti, any longer, ta ethne, the nations, acqui, until the 1,000 years telesthe might be fulfilled. So we get a passive, aorist passive subjunctive here. Metatauta, after these things, day, it is necessary for him. Now this is this day plus accusative and infinitive construction, and we get a aorist passive infinitive lithanai from luo. So after these things, it is necessary for him to be released, macron chronon, for a little time. Kai edon thronus, kai ekathisen ep autus, kai krima edothe autois. And into there. So ekathisen, I saw thrones, and they sat upon them. So we get adon from hora. So I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and Crima judgment edothe erist passive from didomi was given autois to them. Kai tas psukas ton pepelakiz menon dia ten maturian Jesu kai dia ton logon to theou kai hoitin es u pros ekunesan totherion udi ten icona autu kai uk eleventa karagma epi to metopon kai epi ten kera auton. And so judgment was given to them. Now, even the souls, we've got a dative here. We'd expect this to be in the dative, but it's in the accusative. This writer's grammar sometimes is a bit odd. It could be accusative after the adon, in fact, which actually would make more sense, actually. So I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given to them, and you got to supply, and I saw also the souls of those who had been beheaded. This is a funny verb here. It only occurs here, I think, in all of Greek. There is a noun pelakus, which means an axe, and this is a verb, pelakizdo, formed from that. And then this is the perfect passive participle. So those who'd been handed over to the axe, i.e. had been beheaded. So I saw also the souls of those beheaded on account of their witness to Jesus and on account of the word of God. Even those, the very ones who did not worship, normally takes a dative, but not here, the beast nor its image. And they did not receive the charagma, the mark, upon their forehead and upon their hand. Kai esdesan kai basiliusan meta to Christu hilia ete. And they were brought to life, and so they lived from Tsao. They lived, perhaps they were brought to life, and they reigned from Basiluo with the Messiah for 1,000 years. Hoi loipoi ton necron u etsesan acriteleste tahilia ete aute he anastasis he prote. The remainder of the dead, uk edzesan, do not live, so are not given life, until the 1,000 years teleste have been completed. Haute he anastasis he prote. This is the first resurrection. Makarios kai hagios ho egon meros en te anastase te prote. Epi ton ho deuteros thanatos uk eke exousian al eson ta hires tu theou kai tu Christu kai basiliususi metautu ta hilia ete. Blessed and holy is understood ho ekon, the one having meros, third declension neuter, its top meros, having a part or portion in the first resurrection, literally the resurrection, the first one. Epi tuton ho deuteros thanatos. After these things, I think, the second death does not have authority. Sorry, no, it's not. It's upon these. So the second death does not have authority over these ones. So the second death does not have authority over these ones, but esontai, future from Amy. So they will be priests of God and of the Messiah, and they will reign with him, and then in brackets here, Hilia ete, 1,000 years. Kai hotan teleste ta Hilia ete, luthesatai hosanatos ectes pulakes autu, kai ex eliusatai planesai ta ethne ta entais tetasin, gnomiais tesges, goniais tesges, ton gog kai magog. Synagogen autus est ton polymon, hon ho arithmos auton hos he amos tes thalases. And whenever the 1,000 years have been completed, so we get hotan plus the aorist passive subjunctive here. So whenever the 1,000 years have been completed, Satan luthesatai, this is a future passive, will be loosed ectes pulakes autu, from his prison. Kai ex eliusatai, and he will come out. This is from Eleusomai, it's the future of Urkamai. It's the Ionic future from Urkamai. He will come out, and then we get an infinitive, planesai, of purpose here, so as to cause to wander or perhaps to lead astray the nations, the ones that are in the four corners of the earth. So we get a dative plural here from tetasin as a dative plural from the word for four. Normally it's indeclinable, but we're getting it declines here, so tesseran, and gonia is a corner. So the nations, the ones in the four corners of the earth, the Gog and the Magog. Again, you'll need to look at commentaries to explain what these places are. Sun agagain, aorist infinitive, to gather them together, eston polymon, for the war. Hone, of whom, the number of them, so we would say whose number is understood, hos, like, he amos, this is the sand, another one of these second declension feminine nouns, whose number is, the number of them is like the sand of the sea, tes thalases. Kai anabesan, epitoplatos tes ges, kai ekoklusan, ten parambolen, ten hagion, kai ten polin, ten agapemenein. And they, this is from Anabino, Eris, so they went up, epitoplatos tes ges, this is a very strange phrase here. It's a Septuagint expression. It means literally on the breadth of the earth, but the exact meaning of it is not, I don't think, particularly clear. So they went up on, literally on the flat part of the earth. Another way of putting this, platos, can be a flat place. So they went upon the flat place of the earth, and they encircled, from kokluo, they encircled tain parambolan. And this is another probably borrowed word from Macedonian, possibly. It's a word which does turn up regularly in the Septuagint. It means the camp, or the camp or army of the saints, and the city, the beloved one. So the parembole, it's something like the camp or the army of the saints. It's not a classical word, it's a later word, possibly from Macedonian, and it is common in the Septuagint. just quickly to go back over that bit there. So, and they went up onto the flat part of the land, and they encircled the army of the saints and the beloved city. This is a perfect passive participle here from agapao, agreeing with Pauline. Kai katebe pour ectu uranu, kai katephagen autus. And fire, katebe from katabino, descended from heaven, kai katephagen, and devoured them. Kai ho diabolos ho planon autus eblethe esten limnen tu puros kai theu, hopu kai ho therion kai ho pseudo-prophetes, kai basanis theson tai hemerus kai nuktos, es tu sionis turn ionon. And the devil, the one leading them astray, the one deceiving them, perhaps from planao, this is a participle from planao here, eblethe, aorist passive, was cast into the limne, this is the lake, of fire and of sulphur. Hopu kai, where also the beast and the false prophet, understand, were, and they will be, this is a future passive from Basanista, they will be tormented by day and by night, genitive of time during which, forever and ever, literally unto the ages of the ages. Kai edon thronon megan lukon kai ton kathemenon epauton, hu apotu prosopu ephugon hege kai ho uranos, kai topos ukura theautois, kai edon tus necrus, tus megalus, kai tus micrus, hestotus enopion tu thronu, kai biblia anoikthesa. And I saw a throne, a great white one, and I saw, understood, the one sitting epauton upon it, from the, now apotu prosopu, literally from the face of, and the who is of whom, from his face, so from his presence. So we would say from whose presence the earth and the Uranos, the sky, Ephagen, fled. This is the aorist from fugo with an epsilon here, and as usual we get one subject goes with that to make it singular, and then we get another subject, but that's perfectly good Greek to do that. Kaitopos, and a place, uk heurethe, aorist passive from heurisco, was not found autois for them. So just to do that again quickly. And I saw a great white throne, and the one sitting upon it, from whose presence, literally from whose face, the land and the heaven, the earth and the heaven fled, and a place was not found for them. Kai edon tus necrus, tus megalus, kai tus micrus sestotas. Which I read before. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing enopion tu thronu, before the throne, kai biblia anoikthesan. This is an aorist passive from anoigo, and they're just augmenting the ana, which they shouldn't do, from the anoigo, and then the normal aorist passive ending here. So standing before the throne, and books were opened. Kai allo biblion anoikthe kai estin test soes. And another book, anoikthe, again another aorist passive, was opened, which is, understand, the book test soes of life. Kai ekrithe san hoi necroi ectu gegramenon en tois bibliois. I'll have to hold it there. And the dead were judged, this is the aorist passive from Crino, from the things having been written entais bibliois in the books kata ta erga auton, according to their works. Kai edoken he thalasatus necrus tus en aute, kai hothanatos hohedas edoken tus necrus tus en autois, kai ekrithe san hekastos katata erga auton, kai hothanatos kai hohedes eblethen esten limnen tu puros, hutos hothanatos hoduteros esti he limne tu puros, kai etis uk hurethe en bibliotes zoes ke gramenos eblethe esten limne tu puros. Rather grim ending to the chapter. And the sea gave, would say gave up to Snecrus, the dead, the ones in it, and death, and now this is Hades, which is by this stage is thought of as a place. Hades was of course the brother of Zeus, who inherited the underworld, and then the name transfers from the person to the place, so it's Hades. So the death and Hades gave Edokan to the dead, those in them, and they were judged. Aorist passive. Now we get this use of hekastos, which again is perfectly good Greek. We go from a plural to a singular, so each one katata erga auton, according to their works. Kai Thanatos, Kai and death and Hades, eblethe son, they were cast into the lake of fire. This understand, oh no, here it is here. This is the second death, the second one, the limne, the lake to puros of fire. And if anyone was not found, aorist passive from Heurisco, in the book of, written in the book of life. So if anyone was found not having been written in the book of life, eblethe, he was cast into the limne to puros, into the lake of fire. And that's the end of chapter 20.